privilege for the first time yenya Onyempong our studio ha obebuana to me I think come be prepare I will a so ni anope good morning
Maestro I got me humble omani I gonna me ha o to bulo fe me humble omani
when the basana ni person I she power how but me sure say o ye pa ya so I papa as you hear ya chenti for the first time who say why share royal regalia no I'm offering you too much
one show me that say don't you the apple so I say
with by virtue of a young comedy me say you so private name na
yes because sports once them never back and yet no ya Gano ya assembly but ni na aka ho I'm okay
President Gano ya no dia o title na aka say din title aka say me hwem kakra
and just nkran nyina nkoso hen se meche mfika so
okay
nkran nyina nkoso hen
okay na da be na jibril by
by 3 months and 4 months ago
na just share that check grass ya
ni abua senia pija akra isi na puntu ne ye mranti ne maba wo mo na fuji na so nyi juma papa mo ye
okay
na ubia itime ne busiafo ti no na bia meka se me bua liga with this age man
wow President, then it comes with a huge responsibility.
It is huge because we have there's so much that Accra, because Accra is a baby you host capital. Any city be a host capital, it tends to be a metropolitan. You have all go for back into a human also a dorsal. Be our cancer one casa on call for more or than that. Be on many be a near the NT. Like I say, Gan has taken a huge responsibility. Say, yeah, welcome, Gan, yeah, as a capital, Juma Hapa.
Wow.
Now, fortunately, I'm say Niga, and so we had the pedigree now, it be a experience near the Meka says is here in crying as wow, Princess Eba. Now, yeah, you bomb pie say, God damn with food in our soon. It me as a son cry, especially your educational sector and have employment for guns.
Okay,
me said and send us since what in class I say, it's a muso, and no see idea, Nika would do
but may assure say you'd want to leave a legacy paying off is pneumonia or to turn your mouth is Ujawa Chia Yanibeka.
Obviously, Bibia may ye a walk, Niga, a name. Okay, medium you be a mebuano, a me pijaGanisio. It's Becca's a legacy of Danism, and I say me a vision of Danism, and yes, me our family, me so made me ideas kakra, is soon kakra. Until very soon, Obun's Otto Addo, a lot of programs. Nansea na ebia innovate you here Kintakita school or Fari school. And then the other schools are all innovative, including Children's Hospital, EC or Colonia DNT. There's so much keen and I think it's only a matter of time. And they be a Ghana for being an assent for any garden before you now begin. Sisa is Royal Majesty King Takita Buchu Ediaba. Okay. Accra since I even said came.
One Dr. Kujo of Prime Care Hospital or say Ochiawano Bay.
Gajan Medina Super na Daro Befreno. Dana Sepa in more than my also.
Oh, okay. Very well. I was for radio the proper His Royal Highness Nico Joe Eshifi Papanula the First, known in private life as Mr. John and as Ben Nunoo Mensah, President of the Ghana Olympic Committee and I pay you know AD and come president. Na GOC say na say that say na say my very quiet you should continue my cause for GOC. Maguna na
debut I'm say wohwa since I'm a GOC president. Sa akasakasa ne yentwe mani ayi na ka wo GOC ho. Wohwa ejai. Enti say GOC aye quiet bi asa pull him down na kasakasa na wo yi adwuma na obi twa ase na enyina ejai enti de bi obeka say GOC aye quiet ba we effectively no ye adwuma.
Wow.
Akwa Olympic Games aba bi a wohwa most of the national teams ye physical dey ma unlike it in the past no this during the era no and I be America say national federations it mean sika pa free GOC especially some call competition nti edwuma no dey edwuma no na be kire enye kasa na ye kasa o reduce so na say Matthew Macau no na anka first wo GOC nti ye edwuma ye bo edwuma pa ye bo edwuma pa on the federation no kasa.
Okay.
The impact and I say the effect of the GOC on them now, no, it's unmatched.
But your Olympic Games by no federations no ni athletes no yen share them nyoma yen share ante nyoma kese the ebeti bia be hu so athlete we ye free school yes can to your fees the scholarship asa and yet it in nyoma be bring free Olympic Games by and nyoma to say have you been able to sit down with your federations and analyzing nyoma year ma yeah the way forward for the next Olympic.
But my strength say what can say be seen a scholarship near the no money at the end in some the obeti be
okay
do na so idea any panel to make case say na but has do na anya no pre say Ghana Olympic Committee the boy athlete say every 4 years it will be about 10 and I say 12 athletes near pet scholarship amount every man be about $900 what they call Ghana Sikama and also
big
and scholarship there for over 4 years. The idea of the scholarship they say it be as all your potential athletes and I say okay so be able to qualify for the next Olympic Games now. Near IOC say more athlete no potential so which mean I qualify for the next Olympic Games no must be as say omohwe sika omowa no maka so ke ne Ghana e be ma mo be 12 athletes.
Wow.
Inti currently no and I say Olympic Games years na say there were about 12 athletes no more a scholarship no so inti esa and I say quadrina no we are not just a scholarship no so we are inti maintain so be say the scholarship and I say there are other needs of national team athletes make say no and share that and yet Ghana Olympic Committee yeah said there maybe on the federations no assemble and I say be a ministry make us somewhere responsible for the national team no GOC no and head national team.
Yeah.
But yen so your vision is say it be a bang a kakra, and yen so isum kakra, and nothing over here, your good games are yen jack canning in to a buy so.
Okay.
And I so try, ye call a pre games in and see ever Olympic games, ye call a pre games. Yankasa buy Mona Mongutia. Yankasa they could see 45,000 euro. Am I at least you won't go Strasbourg for the pre games near there.
Okay.
During the games, so I buy them extra tickets, and my athletes, and my tia on per diem near there. Yeah, near buying you hand in
hand, okay.
And just to develop your sports. But the core responsibility, just like it be a blaster football matcher, because a ministry for nature on BBI, it rests on the Ministry of Youth and Sport. But also as Ghana Olympic Committee, you know, you see a partner buying, and that is what we've been doing, especially. And so far, during my era as president, you have been very, very successful. Well, I also encourages every Olympic Committee be as government and new because we have more joint interest. Government and I say Mustafa you see for your minister on our interest of developing sports on behalf of the boss Nana Dudakwe is excellent. Meanso as Ghana Olympic Committee President, Meanso me want to develop Ghana sports on behalf of Thomas Bach, our IOC President. It's your joint interest. That is why it's always important to be
Now, if you Olympic Games, my assessment of our performance or Olympics, no, because I just say as for young Ghana for the spirit of the Olympic is for participation.
I think spirit of participation it's long gone. At least after Tokyo, who said, it's me winning medal. If you are Tokyo Games, it's me winning medal or boxing. Now, unfortunately, for Paris, your boxers seem to be unqualified because there are a lot of challenges and now they were going through. If boxing had qualified, I'm sure they would have repeated and I say even do better than maybe Omoye win. If you're a track and field stars, so make us say, to me, I invest a lot in their preparation.
Okay.
If we did, we said Deborah would easily have gotten a medal Paris. And see who say Olympic Games and also Olympic medal, and you're 4 months and you do Olympic medal. You need to invest. If you don't invest, don't expect to repeat any benefits. And that is something I be a year lucky. Focus sports no football developer and I just say sports no but it's not so. Sports is huge. Sports is bigger than maybe football. And unfortunately, your policy makers and I say your leaders no. A
privilege for the first time on your pong in studio to me. I think come be prepared. I will get to me so. Good morning.
Maestro, I got a me humble money. I'm gonna me have or two below family humble money.
When the Basana, the person I ship power how. But me assure so on your power. So I have papa. I say you hear ya chinty. For the first time, who say I share royal regalia. I'm offering you too much.
One show me that say, don't you the apple so I say.
By virtue of a young comedy, maybe say you so private name no
yes, because sports once them never come, and yet no Ganoya assembly, but then you know I'm okay.
Okay. President, but Ganoya no idea title and Casa title and Casa and
she say Ukrainian Kosovo hen cemetery Fika so
okay
Ukrainian Kosovo hen
okay now the benefit pray by
3 months and 4 months ago.
Oh, na just shed and check grass
yeah. Accra isi puntu ne yemranti ne mamba wo na fuji na so nyi djuma papa mo ye
okay
na ubia itime we ne busiafo nti no na bia meka se meboa liga we this djuma no ama ga dambi.
Wow, President, then it comes with a huge responsibility.
It is huge because we have there's so much that Accra, because Accra is a baby you host capital. Any city be a host capital, it tends to be a metropolitan. You have all go for back into a Jumano so a dorsal. Be our castle, one casa on call for more or the dano. It be on many be any idea. And see, like I say, Gan has taken a huge responsibility. Say, you're welcoming God, yeah, as a capital. Juma Hapa.
Wow.
Now, fortunately, I'm say Niga, and so we had the pedigree now, the experience near there. Make us see in crying as wow. Princess Eba, now, yeah, you born by saying, God damn the food in our soon. It me as a son crying, especially your educational sector and after employment for guns.
Okay.
Me say and send us so what in class I say SM so and no see idea Nika would do
but may assure say you'd want to leave a legacy paying off is or to turn your mouth is Ujawa Chia. yɛde bɛkae wo paa.
Obviously biribi a meyɛ nyinaa meyɛ ɛwɔ liga anan mu.
Okay.
Medeɛ meyɛ a mɛboa no amepagya Ghanesi nti bɛka sɛ ne legacy ɛda ne ni so no anaasɛ ne vision ɛda ne ni so no ɛno ɛna yɛnso yɛyɛ me a wafa me so mede me ideas kakra ɛsusu mu kakra nti very soon wobɛhu sɛ Otto Addo a lot of programs Nansea na ebia go renovate you here Kita school or Fari school and then the other schools are all renovated including Children's Hospital EC or Colonia DNT. There's so much kin and I think say it's only a matter of time and they be a Ghana for being an asset for any garden before you know Sisa is Royal Majesty King Takita Buchu at the Abba.
Okay.
Accra since I say King.
One Dr. Kujo of Prime Care Hospital or say Ochiawan Pay.
Gajan Semijin Super na Daro Befreno. Dana Sepa in more than my also.
Oh, okay. Very well. I was for radio the proper His Royal Highness Nico Joe Eshifi Papanula the First, known in private life as Mr. John and as Ben Nunoo Mensah, President of the Ghana Olympic Committee, and I pay AD and come President. Na GOC say that's say my very quiet yenche antini my cosmo GOC. Moguna na
debut say since I'm a GOC President. Sa akasakasa ne yentwe mani ayi na ka wo GOC ho. Wohwa ejai enti se GOC aye quieter bi asa pull him down na kasakasa na wo yi adwuma na obi twi wase na enyina ejai enti de bi obeka se GOC aye quiet ba wohwa effectively no ye adwuma.
Wow.
Akwa Olympic Games aba bi a wohwa most of your national teams ye physical dey ma unlike it in the past, no. This during my era, no, and I'll be America say national federations. It means you can pay free GOC here, especially some competition. Inti, Jumani de Jumana nebetre, and yet a Casane, Castle read this one. I say, Matthew Macau no Monanca, first would use. Inti, Juma, a Bujuma pa, a Bujuma pa, only federation no Casa.
Okay.
The impact and I say the effect of the GOC on them now, it's unmatched.
But your Olympic Games by no federations no ni athletes no yen share them home. Nyoma yen share ante nyoma kese the beti bia be hu so athlete we ye free school yes can to your fees the scholarship asa and you tete nyoma be bring you free Olympic Games by and nyoma te say have you been able to sit down with your federations and analyzing nyoma year ma they hear the way forward for the next Olympic?
But my strength say what can so be seen a scholarship near the end money at the end in some way the obeti be
okay
do one so idea any panel to make cases who say na whereas I do one any no pre say Ghana Olympic Committee the boy athlete say every 4 years it will be about 10 and I say 12 athletes near pet scholarship amount every man be about $900 what they call Ghana Sikama and also
big
and scholarship there for over 4 years. The idea of the scholarship they say it be as all your potential athletes and as your has will be able to qualify for the next Olympic Games now. Near IOC say a athlete no potential so which means I qualify for the next Olympic Games almost be as almost siko mowa no markers okay any Ghana be ma mo be 12 athletes.
Wow.
Inti currently no and I say Olympic Games in years Nancy there were about 12 athletes no more a scholarship no so inti esa and I say quadrina we are not just a scholarship no so we are inti maintain so be seen a scholarship and I say there are other needs of national team athletes are make us say no and share that and yet Ghana Olympic Committee yeah said there maybe our federations no assemble and I say be a ministry make us somewhere responsible for the national team no GOC no and head national team.
Yeah.
But so your vision is say it be a buying eye kakra na yenso yesum kakra enu ti na over here ye ko games a ye nja ka ne nyina nto aban so
okay
ana so hwa ye ko ye pre games na se ye ko Olympic games ye ko ye pre games ya nkasa aban mo na mo kutia ya nkasa na kutia 45,000 euro my athletes said won go boost Strasbourg for the pre games ya there
okay
during the games so aban be mu extra tickets my athletes my tia on per diem ya there nti ye ne aban ye juma hand in hand
okay
and just to develop your sports but the core responsibility just like it be a blaster football match because the ministry for the tia BBI it rests on the Ministry of Youth and Sport but also as Ghana Olympic Committee you know you pursue a partner band and that is what we've been doing especially and so far during my era as president you have been very very successful. Well, I also encourages every Olympic committee be as government because we need more joint interest government and make us say Mustafa you see for a minister or no one interest of developing sports on behalf of the boss Nana Addo for his excellent. Minister as Ghana Olympic Committee President, Minister me want to develop Ghana sports on behalf of Thomas Bach, our GOC President. It's your joint interest. That is why it's always important.
Now, if you Olympic Games, by my assessment of our performance or Olympics, no, because I just say as for young Ghana for the spirit of the Olympic is for participation.
I think says spirit of participation, Kwano, it's long gone. At least after Tokyo, who said, it's me winning medal. Okay, Tokyo Games, it's me winning medal. Our boxing. Now, unfortunately, for Paris, your boxers seem to be unqualified because there are a lot of challenges and now they were going through. If boxing are qualified, I'm sure they would have repeated and I say even do better than maybe Omoye win. If you're a track and field stars, so make us say. To me, I invest a lot in their preparation.
Okay.
If we did, we said Deborah would easily have gotten a medal Paris. And you know, see who say Olympic Games and also Olympic medal, and you're 4 months and you do Olympic medal. You need to invest. If you don't invest, don't expect to repeat any benefits. That is something I be a year lucky. Focus sports no football developer and I just say sports no queer. But it's not so. Sports is huge. Sports is bigger than maybe football. And unfortunately, your policymakers and I say your leaders no I been by way of ministries for them. We are focused just football, and that is at the detriment of the other sports. You do be other sporting discipline, be a skill.
Yeah,
it's very difficult. See, a person sports bar as a Maya, I think say or see how we can develop all the other sporting disciplines. Because we're in the last 9-12 years now. It is not football and it is the other sporting discipline.
Yeah, that is true.
So we need to refocus and then maybe reset the way sports agenda. The ministry should be a ministry of sports, not ministry of football.
Okay.
And in that way, make us say whoever becomes the next sports minister and I said the director general of the National Sports Authority, it should be a sports development as if it's somebody who has been he's been with the federation. Because primary school football kakra. No, sports is bigger than football. So
but you say who say a minister and I say a minister of football, not minister of sports.
Well, so a minister of football is not strange because that is near their focus. Make us say because football is a passion. If minister will find it easy, as football for pay Obenya easy to give to them, rather than the other sporting federation. That is even if the resources are limited.
Okay.
Yeah, because Wanyama football, so it is not just the minister. You say reset say look, sports development is bigger than football, and I think so. Ghana talent never any football talent in Kwa. We have so much talent in boxing, weightlifting here. So are we going to say okay, more talented in weightlifting in boxing, more footballer, more for you to be our God-given talent to develop.
Debbie.
So it's in sponsors, one more sponsor a sporting discipline. Also, we share the other sporting discipline. And football, so it is the responsibility of Yina who be a 2 hours sports programmer. Maybe a 1 hour 30 minutes is spent on football.
Yeah.
Why don't we spend maybe 30 minutes on football and then spend a 1.5 hours on all the other sporting disciplines?
Okay.
So we are not giving the other sporting discipline the feasibility in mileage. Ebi ombenya ama be other sponsors and as a sponsor because okay, we no omunya mileage, omunya visibility, but me so me fan come
maybe accessibility too.
Because I don't think it's accessibility. I don't think it's accessibility.
President, it is because I may hear weightlifting federation crab yana me ho. Because I may prepare badminton ebiana me hu mu coach impona me hu what is the news are trending at this moment.
Papa Maestro, with you, Kijua bar programs over foreign news.
Yeah.
But to be Sakijua say the foreign news no nyawa. Of Pep Guardiola and also Frey say Moye Kose.
Accessibility. It's Google yeah, you
exactly.
Get stories, yeah. Have
you Google on maybe I will share one of the Ghana federations that own your information? It's there. Any easy. It's so easy to get telephone and maybe a karate do on president. It's easy to get.
Okay.
So in the news no, but because those news doesn't sell, I understand more. Your listeners want to hear a news America say no, now want to listen to. Why the person say badminton against football news? But we need to build it gradually so that Ghanaians will come to love all sports rather than it be your folk. Of course, football will always be our passion. You know, I started a sports administration from football.
Yeah.
It would always be a passion. But please, let's look at the other talented Ghanaian youth that are also talented, boxing and also weightlifting, and give them their due. So football here be 1 million. Young far more, they deserve it. The other discipline, already 1 million we here just 1 city. Should it be a problem? So that has been my argument, and that has been very worrying to me. Say kakrena other disciplines in here no. Into me
But President, unsa okay, say the passion of the nation no football. Yet football is struggling to get the much needed sponsorship to support football growth here in Ghana. With all the mileage, with all the passion behind football, still or struggle to say the other disciplines no struggle.
You know my fair view about football. Look, the government over the past 20, 30 or so years has invested so much in football for football to be able to stand on its own. CCR.
Government invested on national team, not
yes, but that of course, so we invest in national team and then at club level, being him say, look, you didn't who club level now, me a friend national team now, I'll be able to make some good money from playing the national team.
Yeah.
It makes it attractive for you to play for Accra Folk and also play for Kotoko.
Yeah.
We have been doing this all the years. Football as we speak now, it be because of CCI stand and cut down here Black Stars for with all the money we're putting in.
Yeah.
But football, and I said Black Star as a unit no, should be able to attract any level of sponsorship they need. I don't see why maybe a sports minister will be spending so much money on Black Stars. Black Stars has become so attractive. Of course, Nancy and Abia Nkoye Kakra and but before that started, Black Star becomes so attractive. Say, and Black Star on their own can marshal any sponsorship they want. A bedroom baby cry me leverage on Black Star for popularity and I say Siko Munyano to take care of the other discipline. Your cost sponsorship for Black Star and can look your more conditional sponsorship who supporting Black Star by 100 million. Yes, so the 2 other national teams account almost so ABM 50-50. No, you know, but for me personally, that is my view. Say, football should be able to stand on its feet, and not over depend on government.
Very well, but President, Mopai Mamiti as federations, my sort analysis we yahu the way forward as far as the Olympic are concerned. More especially, what are you doing personally regarding the national under 23? Because Womuna the destined to qualify for the Olympic Games as far as Ghana are concerned. But that's over the years, qualification for the under 23 to the Olympics. No, are you not worried?
Well, Maswell, it's very worrying, especially when the GOC has spent so much money on the under 23 and then the women's team. They are still yet to qualify. In the last 4 years, on the under 23 in Kwa, just before Kets Mumbai, we spent close to about $20,000 to help them to go for qualifiers.
I remember.
This last Olympics and so support to one with about $10,000 or $15,000 so that they can get qualification. And also and Mano, that's the Black Queens also. They had a chance of qualifying. We spent close to about $43,000 on the Black Queen just to help them to qualify because the Olympic sport, because they are the team idea football wise, no Olympics.
Yeah,
we took it upon ourselves to support them. And the national football teams are not managed by the GOC, just like any other national, the weightlifting and now boxing. It's up to the Ghana Football Association to up their game. For any financial supporter. We do it, and that's what we've done maybe in the last 4 years. We supported that at 23. We supported the Black Queens with so much money, and it's unfortunate CBA are going to qualify for the last Olympics. It would have been good because near bonfires at least Black Queens would have made it, but unfortunately no. But a lot of the work has to be done by the GFA, Ghana Olympic Committee, to prepare the team and get them to qualify.
But President, from where you are seated, Ninyoma Ekoso Ghana, the Black Stars, and how it's been managed, any Akofadiaba say the last time you failed to qualify in 2004. 2024 years down the lane, the Nigerian qualify and call a AFCON. What do you think a problem with our national team and how it's being managed in Kroma?
As to how it's being managed, much I refer to is main shadow and analyzing what is wrong with management. All I can see is one, the Black Stars get as any funding they want, they get it from the government.
Yeah.
They are being very well funded. Okay, the players who play for the Black Stars, also they are very, very well taken care of. Okay, unlike the other national teams, okay. So being funded, being motivated, and yes, so you are not producing results. It must be something will not be able to point out. That would be an internal GFA issue, and I wouldn't want to go into BBR that I'm not on top of. What I can also say as a sports administrator and as a football administrator, I think the commitment level of some of the players has a lot of question mark on it.
Okay.
These days, players who make us say they have no attachment to their homeland. These players were born outside, they grew up outside, they are doing so well in their clubs.
Yeah.
Some motivation to die a little bit for Mother Ghana. In any case, Mother Ghana doesn't even, in their world, doesn't even exist because they have another mother somewhere.
Okay.
Okay. For convenience sake, my call World Cup is easier to come through Ghana because I'm playing in the Premiership, I'm playing in La Liga. You're being regarded as top. It could be one of the factors, but for me, I would have wished that our players were a little bit more committed. On your technical bench, I don't think we make the best decisions when we're selecting our technical benches.
Okay.
I think is a constraint of maybe our money. We can't go and get the likes of Pep Guardiola's money and not expect to pay
huge sums of salaries.
Until there's that limitation that is to limit here. To make we go and take a beer number 3 and answer number 4. But what we also fail to do is to live within ourselves.
Okay.
I think in so many years, maybe in the immediate years past, we see Apia has been one of Ghana's best
coaches. Okay.
And it was a sad thing, we got him out the way we did, and then also when there was an opportunity to reappoint him again, we overlooked him.
Yeah.
For me, and this is a personal view, I think say because we are constrained with Sika Yemi, we should look within ourselves. Because see appear continue where we are led. Because some time back, E.T. Mensah did the same thing with Jones and took a few.
Yeah.
It was working perfectly. Look, most of the AFCON are winning, it was the Ghanaian coaches.
Okay.
So why don't we now start looking within ourselves and build the Ankasege Nkofo to the level of the Pep Guardiolas, etc.
Yeah.
Because those coaches will be committed. Ghana for.
Yeah.
So for me, I wouldn't want to delve too much into ABR or management, but these are the few things I think we need to work on.
And Ghanaians are calling for the sack of the head coach of the senior national team. Obe subscribe to Woman Mufio said, because you said AFCON the best right 10 year qualify and the coach the team mama AFCON go and win the AFCON and go and do well in the World Cup. But this one has failed to qualify us to the AFCON.
Well, I'm sure Ghanaians they have every right to say that, because somebody has to take responsibility. If it be a Yamawa tax, Yamawa assignment for which you're being paid for, and that's if you fail to deliver now, I think the Ukraine will take the first responsibility, and then you resign.
Yeah.
So if Ghanaians say Kasa, I kind of sympathize with them, because they are expecting much better results than they are being given.
Yeah.
So and somebody has to take responsibility for the failure. So if it has to be the coach who ultimately selects players and then make sure that he directs the technical bench of the team, and if he has to take responsibility, why not?
What of the leadership of the federation and also among for Campa say as a collective failure, the coach must go, the FA president must also step aside or resign and all those things, and also Papa
Maestro football the Campa Papa Maestro, I think if Ebia and yet GFA president and a selected team and mark coach, senior GFA management committee and a selected team and a directed the technical direction for the team now. I don't see why we should extend it all the way to the
leadership of the
leadership. Unless of course there's something happening that Ebia coach he's so free and also lose that he sit back and management of the directive, the technical and as a my instruction as to how he should manage the team. Then that is a big problem. Then of course he's not the kind of coach that Ghana needs.
Okay.
We need a coach who can stand up and say, no, this is what I want to do. Must a mistake but I will take responsibility. Now everyone like, okay, fine, if that's what you want to do. And I want to believe that is the kind of arrangement everyone who has with the coach.
And obviously to me I qualify for World Cup under this coach say Bibia Sisa near team the man they are man free war so near Juma obviously over to qualify for World Cup.
So personally I haven't been too convinced with Otto Addo's technical prowess. If you watch the games ending against Niger now, the second half I thought any good coach would have changed his tactics, and then you realize it's Kwesi Appiah changed his tactics completely.
Yeah.
That's how come they overrun us. So most time critical matches and crucial matches are won by the coaches. And it may use an unquote to judge or not to assess him, especially the AFCON we don't so high well. I don't think I'm convinced that he's somebody who can
qualify us
or is technically competent enough to qualify the Black Stars.
Wow.
He may, but I don't think it's my personal opinion based on what I've seen and what I expected. Any world-class coach to change his tactics coming back in the second half, and I think that is something that is quite challenging to me.
Okay, President, who you be in the system that we run here, the ecosystem of sports run what preaching on how demonize some attachment to football now if you might equal attention to other federations. Is that how you want us to see? Because we said December year 2 we are never be brave and never be brave. You be a new era of football administration, and how do you think a qua boying as countrymen?
Papa Maestro, after January 7th, when a new president is inaugurated into office and he starts making his appointment for sports, I want to see a sports minister who understands sports, not to be our boss. Football was
mechanical engineering will investigate
exactly. And yet, I don't want to see a national sports authority director. If you no, if you acquire biology or baby, and now no crowd, sports crowd is not been exposed. That has been the challenge, especially within the two political parties who have been in power in the last
years.
So I'm sure within their parties, if they look through very, very well, they could find people who understand and people who know sports. Knowing sports is different from maybe a wabo football and as a football as you.
Okay.
Sports development is different. Look, if we had people who knew sports and as who understand sports running the National Sports Authority, we don't have problems with interco and as coaches training. Because then that person who understands sports is able to say, look, let me collaborate with Ghana Education Service.
Okay.
They have so many PE masters. And then let me try and pick these PE masters and make sure say at least every school be a PE master.
Okay.
I would then, unlike in the past, near intercono at the senior secondary school level. Say senior secondary school for 3 years and you are through. So they'll refocus and rather do the sports junior and in primary levels. In the BCC and the district sports in the area. Because most of us around the age 13, 15, and they discover a talent.
Yeah.
And these age 13, 15, they are in the junior high schools. So why don't you refocus and try and identify these talents in the junior high schools? Omoko senior high now, they won't spend much time there. And then Gusa sports.
Yeah.
Then we enrich a university sports.
Yeah.
Once your talent is discovered at the junior high, we will do university, once and one mature, and as the talent has been fully polished.
Okay.
They could also work out with the MDAs and as a metropolitan and district assemblies and focus on sports construction of sports infrastructures in every district. Could you believe that there's a common fund allocated to the metropolitan assemblies for sports infrastructure development? So if we're making use of these, at least basketball court, tennis ball court, table tennis, sports arenas, and as a sports also, it's easy. For most of our district assemblies to construct. Then these children can have easy access to their sports infrastructures for them to develop their talent. I would want to see a ministry that is responsive to the needs of our people. A minister who understands sports and wants to develop sports, not just football. A minister who would appreciate what international sports means. Yeah, sometimes we get visits from international sports organization. Like I said, the international president of tennis, Ghana.
Okay.
He comes, he walks to the airport. Nobody even goes to welcome him, apart from America say, your local tennis president. Look, these international sports presidents walk around with a lot of money in their bags.
Okay.
And you, the minister, you receive them that well. Chair president, tennis president. A person will construct 5 tennis courts.
Okay.
It's finished, it's done. Because they have the financial means to do these things. It's been budgeted.
Okay.
But most of the time, you're more on that attention and that respect.
I get your point.
If you're in the sports, especially if you're in the National Federation sports, you understand the value of these, the value of Anoka president, the value of IOC president, the value of international boxing president, and that's the value of international weightlifting president. This is huge. Immediately you get an infrastructure. So, but we're not taking advantage of these because we don't know them.
Okay.
You're focusing on once the Blasters are winning, man, not just a Ghana sports. But it's not so. The kind of things we used to do in the past. It be a employee at least in the security services. And I say, it'll be our sports. No. So who said sports can be an avenue that I can be employed into the military and I say into the police. You don't think the better sports are serious? In the past, so what we also used to do, your national teams are adopted by one corporate institution or the other. GMPC4, NFA, the Milo4, NFA tennis. So when those time in Ghana, Power Africa, we've abandoned all of them. And all I would think of is, oh, football, emphasis can football. A bedroom, baby, you don't even need to put money in football. It will be self-sustaining.
Okay.
So, in the past, I did develop total sport development. I'll be at those times, we'll your track and field for. They were top in Africa.
Yeah.
We're not doing them.
Yeah.
Let's start employing your national team at least in one security services or the other. Immediately once a Gusa a Sessa games, a bit cheating because it become competitive.
Sure.
In Kuala Mrati no mobile, anybody aspiring to be in the security service. Okay, now my main sports. And I said, me who said me sports talent, a bad meeting. My injury me who money because me him said, I'm you come and put
in the career, yeah.
So we used to do the inter-state agencies in Dafa. That's the genesis of Indafa.
Yeah.
IBR, state in the it was even just football. Bank of Ghana for Mount so players by Google. I will go money at the end. Ebi anako test akosomo Texas na monkey face no money at the end. So our football players were even being poached by state organizations and I say private entities because they want to do well in that league. Oh, can we please go back to all these things that made us great in Africa some years back? If you don't get be a leadership and as a sports director general and as a sports minister who know all these things though, and they don't even want to learn from those who know them. Maybe I wanna near if we keep doing the same thing, I don't think we should expect different results will come out of it.
This discussion, President, only very, very vital. Penfobi Brian, so Abo Akandia Okenyebi. Among for Christ suggests the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and until the youth, and free the Ministry of Sports, na sports, and standing on its own. Now, say, a full concentration, then the youth, so a different set of standing or maybe I would know.
Papa, so minimum if you understand sports, okay, okay, sports is done by the youth of the country. If you're developing the youth, and as you are developing sports, you're supposed to be developing the youth.
Okay.
That way, you are developing the future of your country because the future of the country belongs to youth. So, putting them aside will not solve problem. In fact, you're even better off if they are together. So the focus, the one ministry focusing on youth development as well as sports development, and they go hand in hand.
Okay.
Because sports is done by the youth.
Okay.
Who develop sports and who develop it. And what they may have their reasons, but if you understand sports from the way I understand it now, I think say if you put them together, and Okra should be able to make sure say well. But Okra, look, the budget the sports ministry. But there's nothing to talk about. Say Blaster football 1, 2, 3 matches.
Let's answer. But that is why we are advocating for the sports fund.
Exactly. But sports fund, how are you going to fund the sports fund? I have seen what the document they have put together.
Yeah.
Christ me. You don't create a fund and then you want to depend on the benevolence of individuals to source out your funding. What we should do with the sports fund? You should have a constant and consistent flow of funding into our fund. And how do we get that? Can we have an airline that puts a levy on tobacco? Can we have an airline that puts a levy on maybe alcoholic beverages? And then the betting companies. And those funds goes steadily into the sports fund. So you don't depend on companies say out of ABR one benevolent near this amount say foreign sports fund. There needs to be a legislated and I say a steady source of funding. You can also do your lottery. I mean, Britain sports is run basically on British lottery. So until we have that steady funds going into just like national health, we are taxed, and that is what is used. That's why if we get funds, so that is why they are going very well.
Okay.
So until we have legislated, and I say levies on near my BMK say a health. So the more sports you do, the more healthier you become.
Yeah.
If we put more money into your sports ministry, we'll be putting less money in our health
medical
ministry.
Center, yeah.
So let us try and levy a near my BMK say a tier more than so alcohol. Cigarettes, money are there, and I feel saying betting now put levies on them, and then there's a constant and steady flow of funding into your sports fund. That is the only way you can get money. But if you are going to depend on maybe companies and I say a budgetary allocation from government now, it will not solve it. And no sports in any country has been fully funded by the government. And it's something I'll say Ghana for say. We can't depend on Ghana government to solely say among funding sports. No. We have to think outside the book and look elsewhere. That is why we are putting levy on tobacco, alcohol, and the betting companies. At least we guarantee a steady flow of income into your sports fund.
President, baby, I would be I am Fonso argue said government direct contribution to the development of the Ghanaian elite and also our form. Because but when in nani panel in nam feature sa or share national team this year or so or buying team buying so where they now he belongs to me. That is where we're kind of. But when it comes to development of the talent from grassroots now I am minimal. And also to say because I was about so this is real baby a boy in developing the Ghanaian elite.
But I was earlier on, like I said, I want to see a Director General at the NSA who understands sports development. Yeah?
Okay.
NSA, we need to re-engineer and I say redirect and I say refocus NSA in the past. They were managing the National Federation. Now they are not doing it. Since you have been National Sports Authority, they're only managing the sports stadiums. Okay. Where is sports development? Where are all their development officers and I said their development managers? Look. National Sports Authority should be a key point that America say government is developing sports from the grassroots.
Okay.
National Sports Authority can easily work with Ghana Education Service and develop our sports.
Okay.
They need to focus on primary school and the junior secondary school sports competition.
Okay.
That is where the talents can be identified. Nobody can do this better than the National Sports Authority. But I say they've not been in the past, what they were doing here, managing stadium, you have national,
because of resources.
But resources on national sports, so I put a question mark on it. But it's true. Look at the stadium wall. Now, say they some branding and they are making some money.
Yeah.
National Sports Authority should be able to be self-sustaining. They have so many facilities, they have so many venue space that they can commercialize and turn it into. If you want to do that, use the proper thing.
Okay.
But even look at the stadium wall branding. Look at the space behavior makers access
for advertisement.
Exactly. So we haven't had ABR, like I said, Director Generals who understand and know a bit about marketing and understand how sports development works out. Look, Papa Maestro, you can package a stone, make me wrap a stone. Now maybe I'm a tom or say gold. You buy it. If you now sunny wrapping and a say, was Anna a Makofa, Rana, even up there, she may gold. You see, people buy products depending on how well it is packaged and how well you market it. We are not marketing our national sports stadiums, and I say we are not marketing our facilities. If we were, NSA or internally generated funding should be able to do a lot of AE for them. But these has to be people who understand these things. You know a bit about marketing and you understand sports development. And there are so many people like that, even within the two political parties. That's why I always come back to it. Say, it's unfortunate. So we don't make professional decisions in appointing sports ministers and then maybe a Director General of the National Sports Authority. We need to look at people who understand sports development, not just APOB or football. And that is the only way we can have people who are rightly directing and advising maybe our leadership, say, and I say cabinets and our parliament say, look, these are the kind of things that we do about your sports and development.
That was FM 94.7 and